Welcome to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast, where you go behind the scenes with host Brett Fellows, CFP, as he explores the unique opportunities and challenges facing certified registered nurse anesthetists along the path to financial independence. In each episode, Brett shares expert insights and actionable advice, equipping you with the tools you need to take control of your financial destiny and retire on your terms. And now, here's your host, Brett Fellows.
Welcome to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast. I am so glad you're tuning in today because we're going to talk about something that weighs heavily on a lot of minds, especially if you've hit that incredible milestone of having over $1 million saved for retirement. Now, I know how hard you've worked to get here. You've had years of very long shifts and missed holidays, a lot of juggling family life, and putting in more than your fair share of 4 a.m. wake-up calls. And for all of that, you deserve to be proud, truly. But let me ask you a question that might stop you in your tracks. Are you fully confident that your current plan, or maybe the absence of a plan, will sustain your lifestyle for the next 30 plus years? Because here's the truth. Even if you've crossed that $1 million mark, that alone isn't a retirement plan. It's a number. It's a snapshot, a starting point. Last week, I was talking to a CRNA at the AANA Region 3 conference in Chicago, who said to me, "I think I'm doing okay. I've saved a lot, but I don't know if it's enough. And honestly, I don't really know what to do next." And friends, if that's you, you are not alone. In today's episode, we're going to unpack why a savings account, a 401k, a 403b, an IRA, or even a sizable investment portfolio isn't enough without a strategy behind it. You would not go into a case without a plan, right? So why treat your retirement any differently? We'll talk about the key pieces that turn your savings into a sustainable income stream, how long you may need that income to last, and spoiler alert, it's probably longer than you think, and what it really means to build a retirement plan that gives you clarity and confidence. So whether you're nearing your last years in practice or just starting to wonder, can I afford to step away sooner than I thought? This episode is for you. So let's start by talking about something that doesn't get said out loud very often, especially in our CRNA world, where we're expected to be smart, strong, and totally on top of things. Most people over age 50, even those who've crossed that $1 million savings mark, still feel unsure about how to actually live off that money. And that's the part no one really tells you. You see, having $1 million or more saved is an incredible achievement, but it doesn't automatically translate to confidence or clarity about the future. In fact, I've met with countless millionaire next door types who are smart, humble, hardworking professionals who admit in private that they're quietly anxious. And they wonder, how long will my money really last? When should I take Social Security? Am I being too conservative or too aggressive with my investments? What if I make a mistake now and it costs me later? And they're not alone. This sense of financial unease is more common than you think. In fact, I'd say it's the rule, not the exception. But here's the hard truth. If that uncertainty isn't addressed head on, it only gets more dangerous as time goes on. Because the longer you delay having a strategy, the fewer options you'll have to adjust without risking your lifestyle. This is what we call longevity risk. It's the very real possibility that you'll outlive your money right when you can least afford to go back to work, especially in a high-stress career like yours. And I know that's a scary thought, but ignoring it doesn't make it go away. If anything, it just tightens the knot in your stomach even more. So the goal here isn't to scare you. It's to shake loose the myth that saving alone is enough, and to show you that there is a path forward, a clear, intentional strategy that gives your savings a job to provide steady, reliable income for as long as you need it. And that's what we're going to start uncovering next. So let me tell you a story about a client we onboarded this year. She was a CRNA, and her name is Lisa. She was sharp, driven, and very careful with her money, like so many of you listening today. She and her husband had done a great job saving. Between her 401k, his pension, they had a healthy brokerage account, and no debt. They had built a very strong financial foundation. But when it came time to think seriously about retirement, Lisa, at the time, decided she'd figure it out herself. After all, she was very smart, she's very good with numbers, and didn't want to pay someone for something she felt she could learn online. Fast forward 3 years later, and I wish this part weren't so common, this is when Lisa showed up in my world, frazzled and frustrated. She was paying higher Medicare premiums than expected. She'd triggered extra taxes with her Social Security election. She had sold part of her portfolio during a market dip and still hadn't reinvested it. And worst of all, she missed the optimal window for doing Roth conversions, those gap years after she stopped working but before required minimum distributions kick in. Now, she didn't make huge mistakes. She just made common ones. Quiet, compounding missed opportunity mistakes that are very easy to make when you're doing this alone. Mistakes that could cost her tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 20 years, mostly in the form of taxes. And here's the thing. Lisa wasn't lazy. She wasn't uninformed. She was just overwhelmed. And when you've spent your career in a high-pressure role like nurse anesthesia, where mistakes are not an option, the stress of getting retirement wrong can feel paralyzing. And that's why I do what I do. I love helping CRNAs like Lisa, like you, who have done the hard work of saving, but now want peace of mind that they're not going to outlive their money, that their tax strategy, their withdrawal plan, and their Social Security decisions are coordinated and optimized. Because the truth is, managing a retirement plan isn't just about having money. It's about protecting it, using it wisely, making sure it lasts. And here's what I want you to take away from today. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to guess, and you definitely don't have to wait. Because waiting could mean missing out on opportunities you'll never get back. For many high-achieving CRNAs, retirement planning feels like a weight they've been quietly carrying for years. Even with 7 figures saved, there's often a nagging voice inside your head asking, is this enough? Am I doing the right things? What if I get it wrong? That's because saving money is only part of the equation. A real retirement plan is not just about numbers. It's about building a life with purpose, security, and peace of mind. The CRNAs who thrive in retirement don't just have accounts. They have clarity. Their plan shows exactly how their savings will turn into income, how their taxes will be minimized over time, and how their lifestyle will be protected no matter what the market does, no matter how long they live. And they didn't get there alone. They worked with someone who understands the unique pressure of their career, the burnout, the family dynamics, and the deep desire to step away on their own terms. Someone who listens first, then designs a plan that aligns with their values, not just their finances. This kind of planning isn't generic. It's built for CRNAs navigating a high-stakes profession, significant savings, and the transition into a chapter where every decision matters more. And the outcome? Immediate relief, clear direction, and a shift from what if to now I know. And perhaps most importantly, they're no longer carrying the mental load alone. There's someone walking beside them, anticipating the next decision, translating complexity into confidence, and honoring what matters most: family, freedom, and peace. That is what a real retirement plan looks like. So if today's episode struck a chord, even if there's a small part of you thinking it's time to stop guessing and start planning with intention, then take that as your sign to begin. The good news, no one has to do this alone. For CRNAs who want more clarity, more strategy, and more peace of mind, there's a community here that understands exactly what you're facing. To stay connected, follow along on our Instagram or YouTube pages at @MoneyRx for CRNAs. There you will find practical tips, real stories, and behind-the-scenes conversations that speak directly to the CRNA experience. And if you haven't already, be sure to join the CRNA Pulse newsletter, the only retirement and investment newsletter created just for CRNAs. It is a short weekly dose of clarity, encouragement, and strategy you will not find anywhere else. And you can sign up by the link in the show notes below. Until next time, remember, a solid retirement plan isn't built on guesswork or grit alone. It's built with purpose, patience, and a plan that sees the whole you. Stay well, stay intentional, and keep moving toward a future that's truly your own. And we'll see you next time on the Money RX for CRNAs podcast.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. This podcast does not engage in rendering legal, financial, or other professional services.